Welcome aboard. Today on the Adventures of Liz and Joe, we're taking you with us on a weekend boating adventure. We've already been offshore fishing with our friend Al aboard his cabin cruiser, but today we are venturing a bit farther. We are setting out from South Florida and making the crossing to the stunning islands of Bimini in the Bahamas. Crystal clear water, laid-back vibes, and a whole lot of exploring, with the freedom of having a boat to go anywhere we want. This is going to be unforgettable.
We've got 3 days to soak up everything Bimini has to offer, from snorkeling and beach hopping to local food and iconic landmarks. Let's go! Bimini lies just 50 miles off the coast of Florida. These are the closest Bahamian islands to the United States, making them a perfect weekend destination by boat.
The crossing itself only takes about 2 or 3 hours depending on your boat and conditions. A boat of at least 25 feet is recommended for a solo crossing. We're on a 32-foot Boston Whaler, which will make for a smooth and safe trip.
Crossing requires navigating the strong northerly currents of the Gulf Stream, a powerful current running northward along the east coast of the United States. This passage can be smooth sailing or a rough ride, so weather is everything. You'll want calm winds, preferably under 10 knots, and seas under 3 feet. We planned this crossing around a good weather window and made alternate plans if the weather didn't cooperate.
After sailing out from a marina near Homestead with Al at the helm, we crossed Biscayne Bay and docked overnight at Boca Chita Key, a small island about halfway between Miami and Key Largo. This island has a small, protected harbor that made for a convenient jumping-off point for our crossing to Bimini the following morning. This island has primitive camping, but no electricity or running water. We explored the small island while we still had some light left. We watched the sunset and the distant twinkling of the city lights in Miami before heading to bed in the cabin of the boat.
The following morning, we left Boca Chita Key in the calm waters of Biscayne Bay to head east into the open ocean, where the real adventure began. As we crossed the Straits of Florida, we entered the Gulf Stream. Soon the water shifted from a bluish green to a deep, vibrant blue, a clear sign we had entered much deeper water.
The seafloor drops off quickly here, and about halfway through our crossing, the depth chart read over 2,700 feet. With no land in sight, the vast expanse of open ocean surrounded us, accompanied only by the steady hum of our motor and the rhythmic splash of waves against the boat.
We continued our journey towards the Bahamas and finally spotted land ahead. The deep blue water suddenly gave way to vibrant turquoise as the depth shallowed from several hundred feet to just around 20 feet in a matter of moments. It was absolutely gorgeous.
Upon entering Bahamian waters, we raised a yellow quarantine flag to indicate we had not yet cleared immigration and customs. We docked at one of the nearby marinas in Alistown to handle a quick check-in process. The captain of the boat will disembark first and check in with immigration and customs before the other passengers are allowed on shore. The captain will need passports and a completed immigration card for all passengers. The first stop is the immigration office, located just behind the police station in the yellow Administrative Services building. Officials here will check immigration cards and stamp your passports. After immigration, the next stop was the customs office, located just behind the Big Game Marina. The Bahamas requires all inbound boat captains to apply and pay for a cruising permit on the Click to Clear website prior to arriving at the customs office in person to finalize the paperwork.
Once we cleared immigration and customs, we swapped out the yellow flag for a Bahamian courtesy flag, and we were ready to explore the country. From the marina, we headed back out the main channel and cruised a few miles south of the two main islands. Our first adventure was to explore the SS Sapona shipwreck, a half-submerged concrete ship from World War I that's teeming with marine life. It ran aground during a hurricane in 1926 and was used as a bombing practice target during World War II, leaving it a weathered, crumbling relic, part history and part reef, still rising from the turquoise shallows. The Sapona is just a few miles south of the main Bimini Islands and makes for an epic snorkeling experience.
We anchored a few hundred feet away to stay clear of the other swimmers in the area. Liz and I jumped in and swam to the decaying wreck, while Al stayed behind with the boat. The water here was about 20 feet deep, and we could clearly see the bottom. Liz pointed out sea creatures she spotted as we made our way towards the sunken ship. We explored the stern of the ship, which was covered in a thick layer of marine growth, barnacles, algae, and other sea life clinging to every surface. It was a reminder of just how long the wreck has been sitting here, slowly becoming part of the underwater landscape. We ventured inside to the engine room, where we could see the remains of the massive mechanical parts that once powered this ship. Here, we saw fish darting in and out of the ship's interior, weaving through rusted beams and corroded metal. After exploring the wreck for a while, we headed back to the boat to dry off and get ready to head out to another location.
Our next stop was a few miles farther south at Honeymoon Harbor and Gun Key. The island itself is private, but we were still able to anchor just offshore to take in the incredible views and watch the local wildlife. This area is known for its friendly stingrays and the occasional nurse shark swimming through the shallows, and we saw plenty of both in the water here.
We also walked along the shoreline for a closer view and got some up-close views of the stingrays. Standing in just a few feet of water, we could clearly see the stingrays gracefully gliding all around us, their wings stirring up clouds of sand as they passed by. After checking out the shoreline for a while, we made our way back to the boat to wind down for the evening. One by one, the other boats left, and eventually we had the whole island to ourselves.
Despite the skies being overcast during the visit, the calm, clear water and peaceful surroundings made it feel like our own little slice of paradise. It was so beautiful, in fact, that we decided to stay anchored overnight so we could experience it all again with the morning light.
The warm glow of sunrise cast a golden shimmer over everything, lighting up the almost white sandy beaches and highlighting the beautiful turquoise water. In the stillness of the early hours, we had the place entirely to ourselves. As we sipped our morning coffee, more stingrays and a few nurse sharks appeared, slowly cruising around the boat as if curious about our presence, adding a touch of wild magic to the calm scene. It was the perfect, tranquil start to our day, and a reminder of why we made this journey in the first place.
For our next adventure, we cruised back north to a shallow area just offshore South Bimini, where the upside-down remains of a small aircraft fuselage rests partially submerged in the water with its landing gear still visible above the waves. According to the limited information available about this site, the wreck is believed to be a Curtiss C-46 Commando which reportedly crashed during an attempted drug run in 1986. As the plane was landing at a nearby airport, the crew spotted police waiting for them on the ground. In a last-ditch effort to escape, they tried to pull up and turn south, but the aircraft stalled and crashed upside down in the shallow water.
Today, the decaying wreck rests in just a few feet of water, making it an excellent and unique snorkeling spot. The plane is teeming with marine life, with schools of tropical fish darting around and through the fuselage. Despite the decay, you can still clearly make out features of the aircraft, from the outstretched wings to the exposed structural framework, the unmistakable silhouette of an aircraft resting on the seafloor. From above the surface, the landing gear sticks up like a strange monument, a reminder of the plane's dramatic ending. Underneath, though, the details tell the real story. The metal framework is twisted and corroding, with jagged edges that serve as a reminder to move carefully around the wreck. Meanwhile, fish weave effortlessly through the open spaces of the aircraft. It's both eerie and fascinating, a surreal underwater scene where rusting metal contrasts with vibrant sea life. We explored here for a while, circling the entire wreck before finally swimming back toward the boat. This unusual sight turned out to be one of the highlights of our trip, a mix of history, mystery, and natural beauty all in one spot.
From here, we continue north along the western coast of Bimini, passing the cruise ship terminal to reach our next destination, the lost city of Atlantis. Well, sort of. Just offshore lies the mysterious Bimini Road, a submerged formation of large, flat stones arranged in what looks like a pathway on the seafloor. Some believe this to be the remnants of an ancient man-made structure, possibly a road or a wall tied to the mythical Atlantis. While it's a fun theory, the general consensus is that the Bimini Road is just a natural geological formation created by the erosion of beach rock over thousands of years.
While we had a general idea of where the Bimini Road was located, pinpointing the exact spot proved to be a bit of a challenge. The formation lies in about 15 feet of water, and with patches of seagrass scattered across the sandy seafloor, it was hard to distinguish anything unusual at first glance. Liz and I geared up with snorkels and jumped in, while Al slowly towed us behind the boat. This allowed us to scan the ocean bottom from just below the surface and cover more ground than just by swimming alone. Even at the boat's slow pace, we had to hold on tight. The propellers kicked up a powerful wake that pushed against us like a brick wall. The water rushed past with surprising strength, tugging at our masks and snorkels as we were dragged behind the boat at a safe distance. After several passes with no luck, we realized we needed a better vantage point. From above, the rocks finally revealed themselves, forming a distinctive J-hook shape that stood out clearly against the lighter sea floor. Once we had the location locked in, I hopped back in the water to get a closer look, again towed behind the boat as I floated over the rows of flat rectangular stones underneath me. Snorkeling over Bimini Road is a surreal experience. The stone slabs are unusually rectangular, and their alignment does feel deliberate, which only adds to the mystery. Whether nature or legend is behind it, it's definitely worth the visit for both the snorkeling and the story.
We continued further up the island, making it now to the northern shore of Bimini. There we found a sandy seafloor and about 6 feet of emerald green water, calm, clear, and just the right temperature. The moment we dropped anchor, we knew that we had found another perfect spot. I jumped from the boat into the crystal clear water and it was amazing. I could see straight to the sandy bottom with sunlight shimmering across every ripple. Next, it was Joe's turn to jump into the water, and soon we were both taking turns diving in one after another.
Oh my god, this water feels amazing. Welcome to the adventures of Liz and Joe.
Today we're in the beautiful islands of Bimini, Bahamas.
We soaked in the peaceful surroundings and lost track of time in the quiet beauty of the moment. Eventually, we climbed back aboard, stretched out on the deck, and let the sun and cool breeze dry us off. With the gentle rocking of the boat and the warmth on our skin, it was a perfect way to unwind.
After a while, we decided it was time to move on from this perfect little patch of paradise, though we already knew we'd be back later to anchor for the night. For now, we turned east, heading across the narrow island towards Bimini's lesser visited eastern shore. Here, we found a wide stretch of beach just outside one of the island's quiet estuary systems. The water was shallow and calm, so we hopped into the water and walked ashore to explore the area on foot. The terrain here was different. No marinas, no houses, no roads. Just a wild and peaceful area with tangled mangrove roots lining the edges of the estuary and lots of small marine life in the tidal pools. We even found a few empty conch shells buried in the sand.
After exploring the estuary area for a while, we waded back to the boat and headed out, cruising back south towards civilization at the marinas in Alistown. We docked here and walked ashore for a change of pace. Now to explore what the town has to offer. To make this happen, we rented a gas-powered golf cart, one of the more common ways to get around the island, and we each took a turn driving on the left side of the street. There is really only one main road in North Bimini, the King's Highway. This road runs most of the length of the island and is publicly accessible for about 3.5 miles, connecting the marinas, shops, restaurants, and residential neighborhoods.
It was a relaxed, breezy way to take in the local sights, and the slow pace gave us a chance to appreciate the character of the island, from colorful buildings to friendly waves from locals as we passed by. We stopped for a snack at a small restaurant where they offered conch fritters, fried conch, grilled fish, lobster, and other local eats. We also tried a can of Bahamas Goombay Punch, a local soda with a tropical flavor. The cruise ship terminal, as well as a large resort and casino, are near the middle of the island. Further north, the island is comprised mostly of lushly landscaped residential properties and resorts.
On the southwestern side of the island, you'll find all of the public beaches, long, beautiful stretches of sand that are easily accessible right off the main road. One of the most well-known spots is Radio Beach, popular with both locals and visitors thanks to its clear water, calm waves, and convenient location.
How do you like driving in Bimini?
It's interesting. My golf cart floats.
Oh, there they are.
Having explored the entire island of North Bimini by golf cart, we returned to the boat. As the day wound down, we left the marina and headed back out the main channel. We returned to that same peaceful anchorage on the north side of Bimini where we swam earlier. This time it was to drop anchor for the night. With calm waters and a soft breeze, it was the perfect place to settle in and reflect on everything we'd seen and done over the past few days.
The next morning, we woke up to a breathtaking sunrise. The first light of the day painted the sky in warm shades that reflected gently on the bright green water. It was quiet, calm, and a perfect send-off for our final leg of the journey.
After 3 amazing days in Bimini, we raised anchor for the final time and cruised south along the island one last time.
Bye-bye!
After saying our goodbyes, we set our heading to the west to cross back over the Straits of Florida towards home. As we headed out, we couldn't help but look back with appreciation for the adventure we'd just had.
Bimini may be among the smallest islands in the Bahamas, but there's no shortage of things to do here. From snorkeling wrecks teeming with fish, exploring Tidal Flat, watching the local wildlife, and wandering the colorful local streets. Whether you're here for relaxation or adventure, these tiny islands pack in more than you'd ever expect.
With Bimini just a couple of hours from Florida, we can't wait to return to check out the places we missed during our short trip. If you've been here, let us know in the comments your recommendations for spots we need to explore the next time around.
Thanks for joining us on this journey. If you enjoyed coming along, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next adventure with us.